Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 17th of October 2018, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments I believe are quite important right now. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so guys, let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on is Nikkei. Now Nikkei, I was talking about this one on Monday, and we were still trading below this short-term, or should I say more of a medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 26th of March. So we're trading around here, and this is what I was talking about. I was saying, guys, to keep an eye on the this lower level here. A possible break below that could open the path towards the long-term upside support line here that's running since around the September time last year. So but to be honest, I mean, as you can see, that never happened. On Tuesday, this index managed to break through the this short-term upside support line and managed to kind of close above it. So as you can see, today's candle kind of remained here, also closed above the above another important area of resistance that I was looking at, and that was approximately around the 22,715. So at the moment, at this point, we're still gonna hold on. We're not gonna rush into this yet, because for us to get comfortable with the upside, we would need to get a nice good break here above this level here, above the 23,050 zone. As you can see, in the past it acted as a very nice area of resistance. Also, like here in May time, it wasn't far in June as well, and also, as you can see, almost touched it on the 30th of August. So in a way, this is quite an important level to watch, the 23,050. This is something we're going to keep an eye on, and like I said, if we're going to get a nice break above this, then that could look perfect for the Nikkei bulls, where we could then aim for a possible test of the 23,500, or just slightly above that, the 23,580 zone. So also quite an important level to watch. So for now, stay sharp here, be very careful. If this suddenly reverses back down and closes below this short-term upside support line, still the same story. We're still going to remain careful here, because for the downside, for us to get comfortable with the downside, we would need to see a nice good break here below this 22,175 zone. So a nice good break and a close below that could potentially lead towards a test of this long-term upside support line that I've mentioned just now. Let's jump into Bitcoin. Bitcoin here, looking at this daily chart, to be honest, not much is happening. Not much is happening here since we had this spike here on the 15th. Since then, kind of this level right here, the 6,800, kind of continues to hold. And as you can see on the daily chart here, like I said, not much is happening, and we're still above this kind of short-term upside support line taken from the lows of the 14th of August. So we've got, it's a bit of a tentative, I would say, but nevertheless something to keep an eye on. So let's say if this comes back down and tests this upside support line, then yep, stay sharp, because if this gets broken, we're not going to start jumping in with our sell orders yet, because for us to get comfortable with the downside, we would need to see a nice good break here below the 6,120 zone, approximately there. And this is where we could then aim for a possible test of the 5,860. Now this was marked here by the lows that we saw around the 14th of August. But what I wanted to quickly show you here is in a bit of a shorter term time frame, and this is the 4-hour chart here. So basically, somebody could say that this is a small pennant that we're forming, and normally we had our nice pole here, and this is, like I said, this is the pennant that we're forming right now. In a way, either you could draw it this way, or you could potentially draw it in this way. So but nevertheless, the idea here is the same. So normally these tend to break out to the upside here, but again, with this one, we're still going to be very careful. Even if we're going to get a nice break here to the upside, we're going to continue monitoring this 6,800 zone, and then of course we'll have a look at the 6,950 approximately there. A nice good break above this could potentially open the path towards much higher levels here, and this is where we're going to aim probably for the 7,415. Now, jumping into platinum, now this is one of the commodities that I wanted to touch on, and looking at the daily chart, as you can see, we're still above this kind of more of a medium term, or should I say even maybe shorter term actually, upside support line. In a way, a bit of a tentative one. We're still above that one, and we're also above this very short term upside support line taken from the lows of the 4th of September. So let me jump into a 4-hour chart on this one actually. So as you can see, at the moment we are kind of trading here between these two key levels. One on the low side here is the 833.50. On the upside is the 850.50. So in a way, for now, we're just gonna stay put, see what's happening here. For us to kind of get comfortable with the upside, we would need to see a nice good break here through the 850 zone, and then we'll aim for the next potential area of resistance at around 860. But as you can see, there is a bit of weakness kicking in here right now, so we're just going to be very careful here. If we get a break below the 833.50, of course, this could potentially drop towards this very short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 4th of September. We could, in a way, test that support line, and as long as it's not broken, as long as it remains intact, we could see maybe the bulls coming in coming in here, and kind of trying to push this one back up here towards the highs that we saw in the beginning of October, in the first half of October, of course. So something like this could be possible, guys. But again, if we're gonna start breaking this upside, very short-term upside support line. Now, if the daily candle is going to close below this, now this could potentially mean that maybe the platinum is not really kind of looking that strong yet. We could maybe see a further slide here towards the 808.25 zone, or just slightly below that, the 804.50. These two could kind of play out as nice areas of support, but again, for these areas to see, we would need to get a nice good break here below, and of course a close on a daily chart below this short-term upside support line. So keep your eyes on this one. Could be a nice trade. Looking at DXY, now this is something that I wanted to quickly show you guys, and today we were still trading within this kind of little range here. As you can see, the daily candle here is now turning quite positive and quite strong here towards the bull side, of course. So let me just quickly jump back into the 4-hour chart. So we were trading here between these two levels, between the 94.95 on the downside, and on the upside the 95.35. Certainly the day is not finished yet, so this break could have been maybe a possible false break, but so keep your eyes on where the day is going to close, where this daily candle is going to close. If we're going to stay above this, that's wonderful news for the bulls, because the next potential area of resistance could be around the 95.55 zone, and as you can see, it was marked here by support being as well, acted as a nice support area here on the 10th of October, and as well on the 4th of October. So of course, keep your eyes on that one. Keep your eyes on this initial potential area of resistance. If that doesn't hold, we do have another good one here at around 95.80, which was marked here by the highs of the 10th of October. So, but for now, to be honest, this is looking quite bullish. We could see this one continuing higher, but again, probably we're still gonna keep on monitoring it today, and especially going to monitor the daily candles close and see where it wants to stay. For us to start looking at the downside here, I mean, it would be a bit difficult to examine the downside for yet, should I say yet, because we need to see a good break here below this 94-95 zone, and only then we're gonna get probably comfortable with the further declines, where we could then aim for the 94.73 or even lower here, 94.45, which was marked here as a nice area of support here in the mid in the second half of September. So for now, of course, we're more bullish than bearish, but again, we're just gonna keep a close eye on today's close. Now let's jump into GBPUSD. So GBPUSD saw a bit of weakness kicking in here today. Certainly we had a miss on the UK CPIs, and that kind of led to a slide here on the British pound against the US dollar. But as you can see, let me just actually get rid of a few lines here, a few arrows. So as you can see, we've tested this area of support that was kind of checked here on the 14th of October, and we just fell kind of shy of a few points, of a few ticks from touching that level, and that was around the 130.95. Now the level that GBPUSD managed to hit today was the 131 zone. So basically it acted as a nice area of support from which kind of, as you can see, the bulls kind of managed to push it back up here. So of course we're still going to keep a close eye on it, because if this 131 or the 130.95 level breaks and we see this one traveling a little bit lower, we could eventually test this upside support line. This let me just kind of actually adjust it a little bit better here, just to kind of capture these points. So we could, in a way, test this upside support line that has been running here since around the 15th of August, and this is where we're gonna probably see the rate stalling a little bit until kind of the bulls and the bears figure out who's gonna take the driver's seat from here. But again, I'll repeat myself, in order for us to see this a test of this level here, we need to get a nice good break below the 131, or actually the 130.95 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. For the upside, well, I mean, we're gonna probably stay very conservative here. We're just going to continue monitoring this 131.80 zone. If we get a nice push above this, then we'll probably start looking at the 132.45. So for now, we need to see a good, some sort of a good reversal signal here in order to kind of consider a possible move to the upside. So for now, in a way, we're somewhat more bearish than bullish. So, and we're going to keep a close eye on this 131 level and see if it breaks or not. And the last pair I wanted to quickly touch on, and that's USDJPY. Now this is a nice 4-hour chart here. As you can see, continues to trade above this upside support line taken from the lows. Let me just kind of go back all the way here towards the March time this year. So the lowest point of March this year, kind of this is where this started, and this medium-term upside support line continues to hold. And as you can see, we had a nice bounce here on the 15th on Monday, from which kind of pushed higher. Still, this is where we're keeping an eye on. We're keeping an eye on this little level right here at around 112.50. because this could be the nice gateway here towards higher levels. If we get a break above this level, above the 112.50, this is where it could become more interesting for the bulls, at least in the short term, initially aiming for the 112.80. But if that doesn't hold, we do have a better one here, which is around the 113.25. Let me just quickly adjust this. So this is approximately here. Good potential area of resistance as well, but of course, for all these levels that I just talked about, we need to get a nice good break above the 112.50 first. On the downside, if suddenly this reverses back down and we start breaking this medium-term upside support line that I was talking about, now the next potential area to keep an eye on would be this one right here at around 111.65, because only if we get a nice break below this, not only break below the upside support line, but also break below the 111.65. Now this could confirm a potential further drop here towards the 111.10 area that was marked here by the lows of the 12th of September. And if that doesn't hold, well, we do have another better area of potential support, and that's around the 110.35 mark, approximately there. So keep your eyes on that one. For now, of course, from the short-term perspective, I would probably recommend to kind of stay put here and just keep watching these key levels that I was talking about. To be honest, it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful. And if you want to join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso, and that's 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye-bye.